I'm calling this one D for due diligence. So watch how people move. Mhm. Watch how people move. Because it's always the timing for me. People like to say things such as, they aren't connected until you actually connect the dots. 1 minute, a lawsuit shows up on the West Coast that looks like a shadow of what I filed here. Same structure, eerily similar claims, just aimed at someone else. Then, poof, it disappears. You heard right. Voluntarily dismissed this afternoon. Quietly. Some type of explanation given. And yet, just a few days earlier, because this has all happened within 10 days, and I'm just becoming aware of it just in the last 2 days. All right. So we'll say in a few days. The court in California had scheduled a Zoom hearing for September 19th. That wasn't some generic date either. It was an initial case management conference, the kind where things start getting real. Discovery, deadlines, identity maybe. Funny how the lawsuit vanished just before that could happen. Meanwhile, back here, we're still waiting on a decision, still in that holding pattern, while someone keeps playing with identities like a game of musical chairs. One court, she's Danielle. The next, Jane Doe. One day she says she was improperly named. The next, she's filing under the same name without hesitation. Pick a lane. Pick a lane. Because I look through the document, I didn't see anything about Daniel Robertson improperly named. But yet on the complaint, it was there, filed in big and bold, Danielle Robertson. Then I put up a post on my community wall. This is ancillary, but listen carefully. 3 videos came down from a troll account I reported. 2 violated YouTube's community guidelines. 1, privacy. All gone. Coincidentally, same day this dismissal hits the docket. Okay? That is a coincidence, we'll call it. See, the thing though about patterns is they repeat. And the more someone scrambles to erase the trail, the more obvious it becomes that they left one in the first place. Filing lawsuits like tweets, ducking discovery, then hitting delete on anything that gets too close to the truth, that's not just chaos. That's a calculated move. But here's the thing: due diligence doesn't blink, it doesn't retreat when things get quiet, it sharpens. So if you're watching this thinking something doesn't feel right, you're not alone. Watch how people move. Watch what disappears. And ask yourself, who's really trying to silence whom? All right, so let me see if I can just get through a little bit of this. And someone might say, well, that lawsuit wasn't about you. No, I was not the direct target of that lawsuit. But you heard from my opening monologue, there's some things that are just kind of curious. Mhm. Yes, yes. Suddenly, like, yeah, as fast as it was filed, it is voluntarily dismissed, reserving the right to come back and file it. Mhm. Yes. Again, I'm just getting wind of this in the last couple of days. And then this happens, of course, because I am looking at a few things. The name, plus there was an electronic signature, two, on two separate documents, and they don't really look like the same. But of course, they are electronic signatures too, right? They don't, two different days. Yeah. All right. But what I noticed is, like I mentioned, is this name that was said, that's not my name. That's a stage name. But it was used without, the handle of improperly named. So which is it? Mhm. And why was this suddenly decided? This sudden dismissal. If they were so certain. Hmm. Yeah. No claim that she was misnamed this time. Why not? Again, sudden withdrawal. Why dismiss before the first Zoom case conference? Hmm. Are we seeing a pattern? Anything here? No. What is being weaponized? And there's a lot that just felt a little familiar with the complaint that I made here, but a different person kind of turning it around and basically with a portion of it, you could just say cut and paste. Mhm. Felt familiar. Even counts. Remember when I showed you like count 1, count 2 through 6? It just felt kind of familiar. Mhm. Yes. So let me just think about a few things here. Okay. Could any of this be used as a tactic? Mhm. Avoidance, maybe, of scrutiny? A tactical delay? Confusion, maybe? Public identity, inconsistency. Again, Danielle filed the California case openly. She also had Jane Doe, but signed documents using Daniel Robertson. Okay. Also, there's some other things that even in this three, um, we'll say documents in the history file. Mhm. There's appears to be a little inconsistency. Yeah. This whole anonymity, that's part of it. But here it's Jane Doe because of, you can read it. Um, how should I put it? Safety. Mhm. Yeah, we'll say a safety. Mhm. There's a lot I could say, and of course, I just want to just make a few points. Mhm. Again, a notice of voluntary dismissal without prejudice. is someone form shopping, or there's some duplicative litigation tactics. I mean, this is a public record. So anything that I speak about tonight, it's on the record. Okay. I'm not making nothing up. I'm giving my opinion, but I'm specifically looking at some things that cause me to say, some things that are raising questions about credibility. Definitely, someone does not want to be found out. Yeah, that's for sure. And yeah, I can talk about it because I'm waiting. Kind of pausing, thinking about, I'm looking at some things and thinking about, what I want to say here with all of this here in front of me. Again, for me, is let's not forget the name. The same name she claimed under oath wasn't hers, the one she fought so hard to disown in one courtroom. She proudly typed it at the top of a federal complaint in another. No improperly named this time. It's plain as day. And again, I want it to be clear. That one is not, I'm not saying that one is about me. That's not what I'm doing. But when you copy someone's legal outline, nearly word for word, in some places, you can't say you're not watching them. And you can't say it's unrelated when the script sounds like an echo. The signatures, the shifting addresses. It's like legal, what do you call, acrobatics? Disappearing acts. It's like these patterns. The patterns don't lie. And this is not about, well, you know what? I'll move on. This is about staying alert. I said this morning, keeping my eyes peeled, right? And then this, I saw, it's like an alert, like when others are hoping you blink. It's about paying attention when someone tries to rewrite reality with a different zip code and a fresh PDF. Because when you say your name isn't yours, but then you use it to sue someone else, what are you really doing? What are you really saying? Isn't this kind of like exposing yourself? And when that happens, I'm sitting back and I'm kind of observing this and watching how people move. Because shouldn't it be consistent? Shouldn't it be consistent? Mhm. Hmm. So what do we have? Let's see. A signature. Same address, new address, filing. Oh, let's not forget we got Wyoming. We had a Delaware. And then there's something in California. And the court requires you can't file anonymously without asking permission first. So when you look at it, at the bottom, it's signed in the name and then slash Jane Doe. It doesn't say anything about improperly named, but that Jane Doe is used for safety reasons. Mhm. So I see at the bottom, how can someone sue another person without verifying who they are? They would have to get permission from the court. All right. From the court. And it would be a very specific, narrow reasons why. So you're going to sue someone as a Jane Doe. Okay. So at the top of the complaint, when you look at it, it doesn't have Jane Doe. It has Daniel Robertson versus, the defendant. Mhm. All right. And then they started off as, again, Daniel Robertson. Doesn't say anything about improperly named like it does in my case. Let's see. It's the plaintiff, Daniel Robertson. And then in parens, she has pseudonym Jane Doe files this action against, defendant, and on and on and on. It doesn't say Daniel Robertson improperly named. What had happened? Is that your name? Pick a lane. Because you see, that is what my judge, is determining right now. Because Danielle said she wasn't properly served, because that's not her name. Danielle Robertson is not her name. But then she turns around and she sues conveniently in between this time. There's a lot of moving parts. I'm dealing with things that would relate directly, that I'm looking at. I'm looking at name, because that's what's at issue in my case. Properly served. And her argument is one of her argument is that's not her name. That the documents were where the Daniel Robertson was on the document. That's not her name, but she puts it on a legal document in another federal court to sue someone as Daniel Robertson. That same name. So again, it's being used. Mhm. It's being used. This time, not identified as improperly named, but it's there in black and white. So, which is it? Pick a lane. When it's convenient, that's the thing. Okay, that's one thing. And yes, if you were to read my complaint and you read the complaint that was filed in California against a different defendant, it's like you can just flip it. All right. With the exception, there's some, a few other things. But it very much follows the outline that I crafted and filed against her in federal court here in Michigan. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me just pause for a second. Let me look at something else. Just think about this. Again, when I look at it, it's not as long, but it's like deja vu. Okay, courtroom edition, we can call it. The structure, the outline, and even some of the language. As I was reading it, it just felt familiar. Like someone just ran a remix on a lawsuit already filed in a different state, i.e., Michigan. Coincidence or cut and paste portions? Coincidence or cut and paste? Some of it very, very much like it's just lift some of the words right up. So again, a lawsuit walked in 10 days ago, then it's ghosted out. I didn't know that this lawsuit was filed until, maybe a couple of days ago. So this was 10 days ago on the 17th. So have you ever seen a federal complaint get filed, make a little noise, and poof, is gone before the defendant even responds? That just happened. Mm-hmm. It did. Sudden entry, sudden exit. Filed like at lightning speed and dismissed even faster. So what changed in the 10 days? Something about can't serve. Something about the address. Does that sound familiar? Like serving a defendant? Like talking about someone who is giving information that's not, valid? All right, so back to this. So 1 minute, again, is Jane Doe for safety. The next, the same person is electronically signing legal documents with their real name, sometimes even with two different styles of signing. Is this strategy? Improperly named here in Michigan, except when convenient. Funny, I don't know. So again, you got one court, she says she was improperly named. In another, she's using the same name openly, proudly. So which one is it? That's where I'm focused. Because this is at issue here. And this isn't the first time we've seen a flash in the pan, a legal move vanish before it's held accountable. Just think, read between the lines. When you see patterns repeat, it's no longer random. No, it's tactical. This is fair use commentary. There's something also about this. Something about this delivery address or something. So you've got one filing, you've got this Wyoming business address. It's public. It's there on the record. She's put it on the record here in Michigan. Okay. Yeah, a different. It's no longer, she says, the Delaware, but this Wyoming business address that, it's used also by hundreds of thousands of people, I'm learning, as a registered agent address in Wyoming. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that one is used and signed at the bottom there in California. But then there was some other type of delivery service business or something. Walnut Creek, California. So we're talking about one. We've got the same person here again. That's similar. Here in 1, 2, 3 cases. One just recently voluntarily, dismissed. So there's, when I say a lot of movement, a lot of different things going on. It is. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they have rules. Yeah, different courts, different rules. Something about, let's see. Let me go to the end of it. And I'm just looking at the court rules. They're in the Northern District of California. Let's see. At the end, there's a page 1 of 1. Notice of eligibility for video recording. This case is assigned to a judge who participates in the cameras in the courtroom pilot project. Mm-hmm. So the judge that this one was assigned to is in this pilot program. The parties' consent is required before any proceedings in this case may be recorded. If a party, the presiding judge, or a member of the media requests that a proceeding be recorded, consent of the parties will be presumed unless a party submits an objection to requests for video recording form as directed by the cameras in the courtroom procedures. Parties objecting to the video recording are asked for research purposes to communicate to the court the reasons for declining to participate. If you decline to participate, you should candidly convey the reasons for your decisions. Whether you agree to participate or decline to participate will have no effect on your case whatsoever. That's recording of it. But that still doesn't mean that there's not a Zoom hearing where the parties would need to be, present on September the 19th, appear. And then, of course, there's, the waiting for, we don't know what's going to happen here. So, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what I think exactly and why. But remember, a person says it's chess, not checkers. And the whole idea is to conceal their identity, move around, and remain anonymous, right? But they're involved in different, aspects over here, over there, just a lot of different things. A lot of different addresses, a lot of different, it's just moving all around the country. We'll just say that. Now, Google, by the way, if you want to file, if you want to get a subpoena, you have to file in the jurisdiction. Okay? But we're not talking about a subpoena in that case just yet. In that case, has been dismissed. I mean, the defendant didn't even have an opportunity to respond. Mm-hmm. Although they are aware of it, right? It wasn't like someone else who may have been aware. Oh, I think they were well aware, but sat back and didn't say anything. Allegedly. And then they spend money to file. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, it costs money to file a lawsuit. And to retract it in 10 days. Were they not sure? What else happened? Again, I don't know everything behind the scenes, and I don't know all of the, the reasons why, all of that. I'm simply looking at some patterns. I'm simply looking at, how people filed and how people are moving. Because that individual, that's what we have in common, but they're on the other side. They are the defendant in my case. So I am just looking like, wow, okay. So all this is taking place. I did not know. Again, until the last just couple of days. And then is, I learn about it. I alluded to, I just talked about some things, kind of things that I might see this morning. And then by this afternoon, it's like voluntary, dismiss. There could be a number of reasons. Yes. I I didn't listen to all the video. No. Cups of Conversation at the bottom says, Maggie said she didn't need to be served. She welcomed the lawsuit. So she's still lying to the court. In other words, if that's the problem, it's, again, I'm just going to kind of read kind of what I see out of this, or could be a possibility. If a person is saying they welcome the lawsuit and the plaintiff is saying, but I can't serve them, don't you think there would be a communication enough to say, serve me at this address? I'm just saying, but I don't know. I mean, if that's the problem, couldn't that be, reconcile quickly? So you want to get the lawsuit to the defendant, and the defendant is, saying, sue me. And here's where you can send it. If that's the problem, I don't know. I'm just reading what you're writing here. Comes. And I'll go back up here. Yeah. Says, you know what they could have done with that money, but they want to spend it in filing paperwork to dismiss. Only to dismiss it. Oh, but they reserve the right to refile it. Yeah. Dismiss without prejudice. I think that's how it read. Yeah. And yes, I can talk about it. I'm not talking about it in totality. I'm not even reading it. I'm just pointing out a few things that I find at least questionable, as it would relate to my case, the name. That's important to me. Okay. There's some other things, but I'm sticking with that. Yeah. Yes. She said that's her stage name, improperly named. Here's the thing. A person can say that. That doesn't mean it's so. We still don't know that. We don't know if that's her name or not her name. She put it on as her legal name, so it's her name. It's her name. Until it's not her name. It's her name. That's what she put on multiple legal documents. It's her name. And then, and recently, here in California, well, not here, but in California, she filed her legal name on a document. It did not say clearly. You can look at the complaint. It's right at the header. It has Daniel Robertson, plaintiff. Okay. It says nothing about improperly named. I did a quick search. Maybe it's somewhere in there. I don't find it yet. So that's what I'm saying. It's inconsistent. So she's Jane Doe, and then she filed Jane Doe first here in Michigan. Decided the next filing she would be Daniel Robertson, improperly named, dropped the Jane Doe, but then goes out in California. She's Jane Doe, but only at the bottom of the signature, but at the top she's Daniel Rob. What is it? Mm-hmm. And then in September, which will be rapidly coming up, there's a Zoom. They've already scheduled it. Initial case management, with the parties. Maybe there would have been some questions asked. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you got to show yourself, especially if you're suing someone, right? Or was this just an exercise in futility? Like, what? But now some things are documented. Yeah. So which is it? Is it Jane Doe? Is it Daniel Robertson? Is it improperly named? No, she's filing. So once again, there's a legal document, a lawsuit that was filed. Daniel Robertson filed that. That's your name. That's your name. You can't have it both ways when it's convenient. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. So again, I'm looking at this to cross-reference to see if it's consistent or inconsistent. All right, so give me a second. Let's put on this and I'll be right back. So, here in Michigan, in the two cases, she's responded as the defendant as Daniel Robertson, improperly named, all right? But as a plaintiff, to go out to California or file in California and say, I'm improperly named, wouldn't that be like kind of obvious? So you're going to put Daniel Robertson improperly named when you file a lawsuit? No, she just put Daniel Robertson. And then in parentheses, Jane Doe, with an explanation of why she needs to file as Jane Doe. Very different. Very different because she's the defendant. That's how I see it. Could be wrong. But I'm talking about what's on paper in black and white. How convenient. Because if she comes before the judge and the judge says, well, your name, you're improperly named. All right, so you're Jane Doe. Okay. It's like, what? And now that case has been voluntarily dismissed. So she files the voluntary dismissal as Jane Doe, as the plaintiff. And when she filed the complaint, she files it as Daniel Robertson, where you see plaintiff in the same case. Okay? And then within the body, she starts it off as Jane Doe. So it's like she's Jane Doe in the dismissal. She's Daniel Robertson in the complaint. She's not improperly named. It's I didn't even notice this because I haven't gone through all this. Because I am specifically looking at how she is identifying herself. Okay? Because that's at issue. So she's Jane Doe, she's Daniel Robertson, she's improperly named here in Michigan, she's all these aliases. No, her name is Daniel Robertson. That's her legal name that she has put and filed here, or I keep saying here, on another brand new lawsuit that she has now dismissed in the name of Jane Doe. I mean, think about this. What? Seems like it just seems like something, and I'm not going to tell you everything I'm thinking because I'm trying not to. But yeah, here it is. You can look it up. There's the case number. Okay, here it is. So I'm not making up anything. I'm not doxing anyone. We're talking about Jane Doe. We're talking about Daniel Robertson. All right. We're talking about a court case in California. We're talking about a court case or a case that was dismissed. This is today filed. Look, let's just show. I will show you the filing date. You see that? Today is June the 27th. Okay. Notice of voluntary dismissal without prejudice. Jane Doe. 6 pages. I'm not reading those. I'm just showing you the names. That's where I'm focused on. Okay. I have to keep saying it because people are going to say, well, I don't know what they're going to say. I have to stick with what I'm looking at and why. Okay. Does that make sense? So she's Jane Doe as the plaintiff. Let me show you the complaint. Hang on. I am looking at some things and doing my due diligence. Yeah. Where it might concern my case as I'm waiting. Yeah. To see if there are any D4 discrepancies. Yeah. Because these are fair questions, because these are real documents that have been filed in a federal case, now dismissed. Voluntarily by the plaintiff. So what do y'all think? Before I say good night, and let me say, all right, it's Friday night. It's just about midnight. You just never know what you're going to get. However, I thought this was important enough to share with my audience. I did not read the entire document. I showed what I thought was relevant and pertinent to the discussion tonight. Danielle, this is evidence. Yes, let the people see it. Yes. Why not? Yeah, that's fair. I didn't read the case. I showed the top of the documents. It's kind of like this. When you have so many different plates spinning, you got to try to keep it straight, right? Well, I'm like, what is this? Is she manipulating us? Or she wants to make it that she's got it all under control, right? That she's 4 or 5 steps ahead. And she always wins. She doesn't make mistakes. She's invincible. But I can already see some inconsistencies. And you haven't even seen the rest. You can go and look it up. I can see some inconsistencies. It's about getting at the truth. Baby Juju says, thank you, loyal viewers. Thank you. Much. All right. Anything else before we wrap this up? Yeah. I think that will do it for me. Yeah, catch the replay. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the grizzlies and the honey bears. I'll take one last look at the chat and we'll just go ahead and wrap it up. It's midnight. Take a look at the emails. We are good. Perfect. That's it for me. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Good night and have a great weekend. All right. I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow night. Not sure. But keep your bear phones on. That's it.
She's loud in bed or nuts, always crazy about guys. 사람들은 모두 그녀를 몰라, and that is fine. She doesn't mind. Get to know her, babe, then you can hate. Her dress is tight, fits just right. She's so fierce with her style. She talks that talk and walks that walk in her high heels with pride. 손가락질만 내 익숙한 girl, 예쁜 여자, 쉬운 여자. Get to know her, babe, 깜짝 놀랄걸. Yeah. Samantha, Samantha, 그녀가 정말 원하는 건 Samantha, Samantha, just to be loved, 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 that is all, is all. 사실은 다시 다칠까봐 두려워, 사랑한다고 말하긴 참 어려워. Samantha, Samantha, she's got a sweet, sweet heart after all. She's got a sweet, sweet heart after all. 급사랑에 푹 빠져버린 것 같아. Hang on, honey, there's more. I love you, but I love me more. Oh, that's what she said once. So she's reckless, 걔는 어디로 튈지 몰라. 사람들은 그녀가 모습만 봐, and that's fine. She doesn't mind. Get to know her, babe, then you can hate. Oh, can't help it but fall in love. The moment she makes you smile, can't help it but fall in love. The moment she makes you can't help it but fall in love. The moment she makes you can't help it but fall in love. The moment she makes you shine. Samantha, Samantha, 내가 정말 원하는 건 Samantha, Samantha, just to be loved, 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 that is all, is all. 사실은 다시 다칠까봐 두려워, 사랑한다고 말하긴 참 어려워. Samantha, Samantha, she's got a sweet, sweet heart after all. Can't help it but fall in love. Can't help it but fall in love. Can't help it but fall in love. 눈물마저 사랑스러워. 사실은 다시 다칠까봐 두려워, 사랑이라면 다친